Okay, so I'm gonna be on camera now. So now we're on live, which is
Okay, let me I'm gonna tag her in here. I'm not sure if it
yeah. I put it in the group, and I also put it
okay.
yeah. So it has a thing on there.
Yeah, I text her. She'll probably be on the way.
Awesome. So
Mhm.
I don't know. So what we stopped off for. So this evening, I'll notify you of the workbook. It's almost done. I'm really excited. It has like a little promise pledge. It's really cute.
Oh,
It's all ceremonial, but
okay.
it's don't get what's the word don't underestimate the simplicity of it, because we have 8 weeks. So I want all of us, because I'm doing the program with you
Mhm.
simultaneously. I want all of us not to feel overwhelmed, right?
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. So it's 8 weeks, and then every time we come in, our goal is just to, like yesterday we had a great. It's unfortunate. I think I might have recorded it, or it might have not been on YouTube, but I might have it. But nevertheless, we'll just make up for that one.
Mhm.
So what is your thoughts on when you start dating men?
Mhm.
What are your thoughts about the courtship process? Like, are you dead upon, are you okay with being abstinent, not for religious reasons but more strategy?
So that's what that was has been my mistake in the past, not being
Mhm.
abstinent. But now I know, like after all these years, that has been my pretty much fatal mistake, is giving
Okay,
it up too soon.
because the reason why I asked was to I forgot to put a darn list again. The
Mhm.
reason I asked this is because that's part of the strategy to get you married, is what can we do
Mhm.
that other women are not doing.
Yeah.
And I know you've just got a relationship in May, so I understand you have needs, but think about it. A man has needs. Oh, that's something else. A man has needs as well. So if
Mhm.
a man's need is 10 times stronger than a woman, imagine how that's going to incentivize him to get married. So do you feel comfortable being able to marry a man not knowing how you're compatible sex wise?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I would need some hints that he's open to sex. Like sex is important to me. So
It
he
is to me as well.
yeah, I would
I
need some
be
hints.
heartbroken, so I know I
Hmm?
won't be. I'm not sharing everything my body. It's hard to. It's easy to be heartbroken when you've given it literally
Oh
everything your body.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
so okay. So your standards and my standards are different. And the workbook, we're going to come together and you're going to create, because the whole point of this program is for
Hmm.
you to make your own rules. I
Yeah.
give you the foundation, and then you make how you want to make your chocolate chip cookies. As long as I teach you how to make the basic, then you can add your little special sauce to it. So it
Yeah.
might end up that you might not I don't know, that's your business between that person. But my goal is for you to leave that relationship. If the event that he doesn't head towards the aisle, you leave that situation with
Yeah.
more than left. Then you leave more
Absolutely.
with left. That's my goal.
Yeah, that's my goal as well. I think I would need to be engaged, but after engagement, I might slip on his penis. I'm not
So
sure.
you need so that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. So you
Mhm.
need to be engaged to your husband before you get married.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I want to meet his family. Like I want to meet the most important people in his life because that's
Hmm.
going to be my family.
Hmm. But you
And
can do that, and you can do that right before you don't. Well, I guess you're right in the sense that when I think of engagement, I think of like a long drawn out process.
no, not a drawn out one, but I want to know like I guess you can find that out in the courtship.
Right. That's what. Yes. Yes.
Um but I need to have interaction with his family, with his the men who are most important to him.
Right. That makes sense. That's
Yeah.
what. Yeah.
And
So you,
vice versa.
because okay. So what I'm hearing you say with this program, your goal is not to be married by Christmas, but you'll be happy with like a strong prospect with engage.
I would be happy with an engagement. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
short engagement if the marriage doesn't happen by December, it's around the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well,
I'm not hey, I'm not waiting longer than 3 months is my point. Like
you're not
we should be if we're not married by December, we should be getting there should be plans in place to get married soon.
okay. Okay.
Mhm,
I think next time I do this on Zoom, I just need to decide which one is better. Because I
mhm.
think over time, this is better for the recording replay component. But because I know with Zoom I can, because I'm gonna read the comments on my phone. So anyways, but okay, what about you, Falana? You can type it in the comments. What's your goal for the end of this program? Do you want to prospect, or are you adamant about being married? You can type. I know you might be at work.
No, no. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I gotta come out for this. Too important. So these are my goals. Okay, I want to. You know how like I want to have the confidence that's just like walking fireman. I want to have the energy that's just like dope AF.
Mm-hmm.
And so that said, I want to have all those things dialed in, and I want prospect. It's not, yeah, having to be married by the end of the year, that's not a must for me, but prospect, yes. And I want to have me in place. You know, I want to be like 100% dopeness personified, walking magic, magnetism, goddessness, all that good stuff.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, that's my. How do I turn this off? Okay. I have this on my phone so I can read your comments without having to go here. Because I don't know if you need to mute yourself. So okay, so that's cool. Okay, so me, I guess I'm the one who's adamant about getting it at the end, but that's fine. You know, everyone's situation is different. Now, with that said, I know you're waiting for the workbook by the day, and you'll get it by this evening. What are you willing to do this weekend or starting actually I guess tomorrow? What things have you decided to slowly step into rebranding yourself so you magnetize a man to come to you versus how other women are looking under couches to find their future husband?
Well, I shared on the page. You probably haven't seen it yet, but I did some journaling work last night around emotional availability, what my clarity and certainty were. And so I shared those insights that I got. So the most important thing for me is healing through the fears that
Oh,
make me
I'm
fear.
seeing it. I don't know why it doesn't give me a notification. Like I get some notification, like when you told me where we're gonna meet, but I don't have to just make an effort as to at least check 3 times a day. This is lovely. But yeah, you don't have to I know I have common sense not to share your vulnerability, but I was just saying that when more people come to the program, you know, everyone's etiquette
No,
is
that's for them. That's for
okay. Yeah, she's like,
me.
I
So
know.
just in case I forget,
She's like, I
that's
know.
for the
Yes,
future.
yes,
Don't
yes,
screenshot.
yes. Yes, I really hope, yeah, because that, and you know, I'm changing the fee. So the fee now is going to be 1,000 because I gave more than enough time because people are whining about the price, and I feel people who are investing that amount of money aren't going to be like riffraff and I
Yeah.
don't. Have you been a part of a private paid group where people screen or share stuff in the group? I haven't come across that. I've only seen it.
No, no, I haven't.
But it's always better to be safe than sorry. But I'm just
Yeah, I
yeah.
wanted to be clear. Like,
Yeah.
in case you were wondering,
Yes. We want to
don't
be clear with
screenshot.
the bed too. I want to be clear that
Right,
I need you to be single, not legally separated, single.
right.
I want to be clear.
Exactly,
Yeah, I know.
exactly.
To be honest with you.
Clarity all around.
Clarity. Okay, so
Mhm.
so go ahead about your journal while I'm reading it.
Yeah, so I listed 7 reasons why I might be commitment phobic, even though I desire
Oh, you were
marriage.
married before. I didn't even ask you your status. You were married before?
No,
Oh, I guess I'm misreading. Oh, being married to a narcissist. Okay, okay. I thought you meant you were
yeah,
married.
so
Okay.
my child's father was and is a narcissist. Our father is a narcissist. So that's one of my fears, to get coupled up with somebody that's just horrible and have my mother's fate.
Is your mother still living?
Mhm.
Okay, she's divorced, or she's still with your father?
They finally divorced after, I think, 35 years or something, 38 years, something like that. Back in 2001, he initiated the divorce
Oh, okay.
and then appealed the divorce.
I always
Anyway.
think it's better to be separated if you've been married that long, because with my mom, she
Mhm,
regrets her to stay married to my father,
mhm.
because I don't know if you know this, but even if you're divorced, some insurance policies, like, they don't care if you've been paying into it. For legacy reasons, for financial reasons.
Yeah,
But so your mom remarried?
no, she hasn't remarried. To my knowledge, she hasn't even dated
Mm.
anyone. So,
And your
yeah,
father?
I don't know, nor do I care. No.
Oh, you're not. Are you in communication with him?
We're estranged.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
I hear you. So, okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense. So,
Hmm.
you want to end generational curses from how you
Yeah,
grew up.
Yes.
That
absolutely.
that makes
Mhm.
sense. That makes sense. And do you? Oh, were you gonna say something, Flying?
I was just you're muted.
Excuse me, I know you were talking to her, but I was like, yes, in generational curses.
Oh, it's fine.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, do you feel like um I don't want this to be like a leading question,
Hmm.
but if you saw healthy dynamics between your parents, that it would have been easier for you to deal with men?
Yeah, I would have been excited for marriage because I have gotten little glimpses. Our aunt who passed, to me, theirs was well, both aunts, theirs were the only healthy marriages that we got glimpses of. And he was a very doting husband while she was alive. Like, they were such a fun couple, always throwing parties. So I believed in marriage, like, a little bit. Like, if I can get it like that, if I can have it like that, I want it. But from I don't know what age, I've always wanted marriage, but just not what my parents were doing. You're muted still, shameless.
When you said your aunts, which is your sister's sisters, met a spouse that doted on her, what do you think was the missing from your mother? Like, what caused her to kind of stray from?
My number one, I think my parents' marriage was a trauma bond. They were both traumatized kids. They married at 22, I think. They didn't have much experience in the world. They had a lot of unresolved trauma, and then they married. And then they shortly thereafter had my sister. So they had, like, it was like two kids, in my opinion, who came together in marriage. So my mother was separated from her sisters. So my grandfather had he was crippled, is what they call it. They were very poor. It was rural in North Carolina. And this teacher said to him, and my grandmother had just died, or she was ailing. This wealthy teacher said to him, I will take one of your daughters on to take the financial burden off of him. And he let my mother go because she could play the piano and the teacher favored her. And so she had abandonment issues with that. She was snatched from her sisters to having this family, to being one child of a very controlling person, very control, probably another narcissist. And then when at 12 years old, when my grandmother passed, they didn't even tell my mom. They waited 2 weeks after her funeral to tell the little girl that, oh yeah, your mom's gone, by the way, and wouldn't let her visit. And so my mother has crazy, oh, you,
Her adopted mom chose not to tell her.
right, until
Wow.
2 weeks after her mother was in the ground.
Wow.
So I know my mother has um mother wounds of her own, womanhood wounds of her own, where she was just, in my opinion, looking for a family to create with my father. So her issues are lack of boundaries, a martyr, like my mother. If there's an archetype of the martyr, that's her. It's plus she had that Southern woman mentality that once you're married, whatever the man does, like he's the he is the gospel basically of your family. So my mother, in my opinion, didn't have any sense of self when she married. She had terrible abandonment wounds. She was trauma bonded to a narcissistic young man, and they had so many issues with racism and my father's like mental health. My father was a physician, so when they came to try to open up this practice, they obliterated them. From what I understand is from racism, probably also just my dad is a prick. And it was trauma from the beginning. Trauma. I was born into their trauma, into their demise. So my mother just was on shaky ground as a woman. And then her identity was being a wife, was being connected to my dad. So in contrast, I think my aunt was much stronger. She was the oldest girl. I feel like she probably had a deeper sense of self. She was the first, even though they all went to school, my aunt was a teacher. Like she had a dream of her own when she met. She had a marriage before that was abusive. But when she met my uncle, she was already kind of self-actualized, in my opinion. Like she had a dream of her own. She knew what she didn't want and what she wasn't going back to. And I just feel like also she had a stroke of luck. Like my uncle was just a great man. He, from what I understand, I don't know if he loved her and her child immediately took on my cousin as his own. Like he was just, from everything that I understand, he was just a great partner to her. Yeah. Oh, you're on mute.
I don't know if you know this, but if you click on your thing, if you click on comments, it gives you a feature to join the YouTube thing where you can, because then when you join the chat, I think your comments shows on the screen. Let me see if this works.
I'm on my laptop, so I don't see any of those.
Okay, never mind. It doesn't have to be fancy. I'll be that person. Because with the chats, because I have to look, so I don't want you to think that I'm like not paying attention to what you're saying. It's just that I want to read the chats without always.
Sure.
Okay, so so that's good that you realize that. The reason why I was asking that is because I know you don't have a chance to watch this test. Let me see if this works. Let's see if that goes through. See, do you see that? Do you see the comment test?
The comment, the last thing I see is makes sense.
Oh no, but do you see comments on the screen?
Okay, see, Feline, are you on your? Yeah, I see the comments.
No, it's there's.
I don't think I have that function on my laptop. Feline, are you on your laptop? Oh.
Okay, well.
I see on my end it says you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. And then I see the chat under the private chat.
Oh, because there's a comments feature that
yes, I can see the comment. Fine.
Maybe I'm trying to show you.
Oh, wait, let me.
Do you see this
thing? Yes. So
okay, so it's supposed to be able to go on the screen, but I guess it's not right. All right.
Well, if we were on YouTube, it probably would pop up.
Okay,
but
so
since we're in the StreamYard,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, never mind. It's not. So the reason why I mentioned that is because on my TikTok live, I talk about the reason why a lot of Black women have issues getting married. It's not because there's something infallibly wrong with them. It's like what you shared. It's a lack of skills. It's a lack of seeing something. You said your mom everyone says, well, all of them grew up in the same household. How come one kid turned out this way? You just disclose. That's an important thing, right?
Yeah.
And so even if your mom wasn't taken away from another family and your dad just treated her differently out of your two siblings, she can still have the same results. And I feel like that's why I was bringing it up, is not to be all up in your business. It's because I want you to understand, you know, what can be causing some of the limited, because I've done the work and I have a similar story. When you don't see something, it's hard. It's not impossible, but you have to overcompensate for things that you didn't get.
Yeah, for sure. And then also what I took from my mother, I think, is this martyrdom a little bit. I don't have it nearly in her dosage, but a martyrdom that puts up with more than she should put up with in the quest for love. And I have had that pattern in my life quite a bit, where I accommodate bad behavior or mediocre behavior in the quest for love.
So is your mom still in the search of a partner, or has she just resigned and given up on?
I think she's resigned to singlehood until she leaves the earth. I haven't seen her ever talk about another man.
Would you want
Nothing.
with another person? Or
I want her to find love. Absolutely. I want her to have healthy love. She'll be 70 in a few months. And I believe that you deserve love at every age. That I would love for her to have that.
Wow, that's awesome. And she's independent, lives on her own, it's fine.
She lives with some other siblings of ours, but my mother is very codependent.
Okay.
So with the martyr thing, she gives in a way to keep people around. My mother's an chronic overgiver. So, and she doesn't drive. Don't ask me why. She's fully able, fully capable, but she decided like 20 years ago that she got her license revoked, and that was that. That was the 90s, and she hasn't driven since. So
wow. So okay, to understand, you say that your mom is codependent, and so she overgives to think. So it makes sense, because maybe when she was growing up, she wants to have reasons for people to pour it back into her.
yes. Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that when you're aware and you tell people that. The challenge is when you don't admit it. That's when it becomes difficult. If you just say, you know what, I didn't get my needs met when I was a kid. Do you mind if I just pay you? Do you mind if you just live with me? And I won't charge you. I just don't. I feel like there's nothing wrong with people saying they have needs more than other people, because some people are worse than other people. It's a challenge when you don't admit that, though.
Yeah, it becomes kind of like a covert narcissism.
Yes.
Because you're doing something underhanded to get something.
They're covert or malignant.
Malignant, yeah.
Yes. And it's unfortunate, because the malignant narcissist is kind of like they don't know any better. Maybe they know better, but they just given up and feel like they have the power. I feel like England, if they realize it's not too overwhelming to change, they would change.
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay, let me read the comments, because I don't want. I'm not.
We're not rushing. I'm not rushing.
Okay, awesome. I see both options. Yeah. So the reason why I bring this up is, like, the good thing is, it sounds like you've observed your mom and you're not in the subconscious. Like, I feel a lot of Black women, like, they recreate what they grew up. You disclosed, Melinda, that you have it to a certain degree, but not as bad as your mother. So I feel like when you said that you don't know why this man had a wedding ring coming to your face, I do feel certain personalities can tell when you're like a compassionate soul. There's nothing wrong being a compassionate soul. It's only a problem when people don't value it. So that's why with the workbook that you'll get by this evening, you'll see it. So I'm kind of excited tomorrow, because that's when we're going to start the work, because it starts the rebranding process. Now, one of the things that I'm working on is how's your home? Because your home looks really nice right now. Is it pretty clutter free? Is it like clean?
There are parts of it that are cluttered. There are parts of it that are pristine.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I have something similar. Like I have 2 bedrooms that are untouched. They're very nice, and then I got the other
Mm-hmm.
one included where I'm in right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit, and the reason I mentioned this,
Yeah.
many time that I really clean my house, like clean it, organize and everything,
Mm-hmm.
financially good things happen, but it's also reflective when it comes to love. So I feel like that's something that I would encourage you to do in the process during our 8 weeks is to find a routine where your house is like a goddess temple. To
I
have
love it.
and
Yeah.
this is something that I work
Mhm.
part of Divergent. Um, I've always been a neat freak to the point where people know to take their shoes off, but I over the past year something happened with my brain, and that habit of mine just went out the way. And I'm just like, you'll be shocked 6 months gone down, and you've got a table full of bills just collecting because
Yeah.
you throw away the mail, and it does something to your mental. It's either the house reflects what's going on in your head, or your house is reflecting, or your head is reflecting your house. But I would encourage you to, and I will be doing this, and I'll show before and afters in the group. But it's going to open more space. When you literally have space in your house, there's no, it's not going to be space in your life.
Yeah.
Like I literally cleaned my house like 3 months ago, not to say I should be doing this on a daily basis. And I got $400 from a travel contract. I guess they did the bill mess up just out of the blue. And it was
Yeah.
literally 2 days after decluttering my home.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Because that's a struggle of mine to keep the places uncluttered. I lost my key yesterday. There was so much clutter. My baby had to take a Uber because I couldn't find the freaking key. I was just like, this is ridiculous.
Wow,
I had to tear the place up, and it really spoke to me. Like you need to clean. You need to, number one, stop putting papers, because my sofa is like where all my mail goes. And if I don't feel like reading it, or I don't want to know what's in there, that's where it stays. And so I take what you just shared as like a nudge from spirit. Like, yeah, you put an asterisk next to this practice. You need to keep up a goddess temple. So thank
Laura's
you.
like, yeah, I got my routine going. She's like, I got my routine, and my space is nice.
She said it feels great.
And she has a man in her life too. See,
Yeah.
It's correlating.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you want, but you have some man who's poured into you, which I do believe. So that's the next step too. What are your thoughts when it comes? Okay, so this program isn't just for you to get any Tom, Dick, and Harry. That's easy to find a man to marry you. The step now is, you mentioned you want a man to kiss the ground that you walk on. So how, to the degree, are we speaking of? For me, do you need a man to give you money, pay all your bills, or just give you allowance? Like, what on the spectrum of how devoted you want a man to kiss the ground do you want it to look like? Because for mine, I think you said he's pouring into you. It's not exactly who you want to end up with, but it's a good for now. I believe if you're going to do it with a man and he's not the forever guy, he must be poured into you, because when women give more than they receive, then that's where the jadedness and the negative beliefs about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've done a lot of work. Like I said, if I may, this relationship, Spirit told me, okay, so this relationship, met him, we like instantly kicked it off. And then I was like, oh, there's some red flags I don't like. But then Spirit was like, I want you to stick with this man for 90 days because it's going to be really good for you. And I was like, okay. I will always listen to the inner voice. Okay. So first of all, it was pointing out all my insecurities to me. And I was like, oh, wow. I really just realized how insecure I was. And then the next level up from that was he taught me, I learned how codependent I was. And he helped me like heal a lot of that. And then to get to your point, now what I'm learning is my standards and my boundaries, because I'm like, there's certain things I'm like, yeah, I will never sign up for this in the long term. I'm just learning like, not for me, get somebody else to do it. Not me. But like, for example, we have a little sister and she just had like a big seizure and it's been kind of weighing on my spirit. And I was feeling really sad about it today. And like, for example, it felt so good to be able to pick up the phone and call him and just to get somebody to just be like, just to cry to or just to talk to. And I'm like, I realized like that. But then on the other hand, I want someone that's like, I don't have to pick up the phone and call. It's gonna be like, how are you? So I'm just noticing like, I like this, I don't like this, and it's really helping me to realize what my standards and boundaries are, if that makes sense. Um, and then to answer your other question, like in terms of like pouring into me, like financially, like he's great, like, you know, dinners and little gifts and stuff, but I want someone that's like, I want to take care of you. You know, his point of view is like, he, you know, we live in the Bay Area. You already know what that's like. And he's like, it's too expensive. I need a partner. You know, I need a, basically 50-50. And I was immediately, that was one of the red flags being, I was like, I know I don't want to do that. So I want someone that wants to take care of me financially. I want it to where my income is welcome, but not required. You know, with him, it's like required. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that with you. But yeah, I want someone that can
What's
you hear
his
me?
mind me asking?
What'd you say?
His ethnicity?
He's Jamaican, so he's
Oh,
black, but not American.
because at first, before you mentioned about the 50-50, I thought he was he was YT, you know. But when we mentioned the 50-50, I was like, oh, okay. But
Yeah, you already know.
I thought, but I didn't want to assume, so that's why I asked.
Yeah. Um, what was the last thing I was gonna say? I guess it'll come back to me, but basically, I want someone that's like, oh, I was gonna say, Shameless, I talked to you a little bit, but like, I'm working to be a content creator. Like, I want to have my own little business. I want to make good money on my own, but I don't want my money required. Like, I want you to be able to handle things, and you like, I want to take care of you. You don't need to pay that. You don't need to worry about that. Like, I'm like, but I can. And like, no, I'll take care of it. You do vacations or whatever. That's like the kind of stuff that I want.
Yeah, me too.
Not someone that's like, baby, we'll go 50. No.
Is someone on the speaker? Because it's like,
Oh, is it me?
oh yeah, it's like when you do this, it's fine, but when you're talking, I didn't hear it. So I was just wondering, like, is it? Are you on the
It's
laptop?
just like your clothes or something.
Yeah, it's not. It's
It's
not.
picking up a lot.
It's not the whole time. It's when you like move. So it's not. I don't want you to not be on this. I don't. It's not. I don't want you to not talk at all. I just want you to. I just want to be like, where is that sound coming from?
Just stay still.
Hmm?
Just don't move your arm.
I'll just try to.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's awesome. Yeah, and that's another thing. Once we finish Word to Wifed Up, again, the program that you invested in, I'll have other programs. So again, it's just like what you mentioned, Melina, about like the womanhood women's. That's why I called it womanhood, because it's not just one aspect of your life that's causing you not to be single. It's the root cause. And once you become that embodied woman that you pick from the workbook, the man, the career, everything in your life, because you are the man and we are in your world, Melina, right? You are in my world, and it's my job to create how it wants. So I feel like that's the disconnect from certain relationship people. It's like they're so focused on these tactics, text him this and do this. It's like, no, let's get to the root cause on why you feel this way. But Melina, your past relationship, how was it when it comes to the contribution?
It wasn't good. So he was Nigerian. So I felt like I've never been able to get a guy to be what I want him to be. He his idea of providing was to cook for me, which was nice, romantic. And then he would take me out on a date once a week, every Sunday. But when it came to like, I need help with my properties, I need you to come. Oh, I can't. I got to do this, that. And finally, the relationship ended or started to end because he was outright like, I'm not coming. Like, basically, I could not count on him. It was all to his convenience. And the guy before him was Senegalese, and he had the same. He would pamper me, cook for me all the time, make tea for me. But as far as buying me dresses or things, getting my hair done, like, no, I've not had that experience. And it's something that I really crave. It frustrates the hell out of me. Like, I need a provider man with the provider mindset, not someone I have to convince. Like, I think both of them, no, all three of my past exes within now in 2019, I've had to have the talk with them on why they should be providers and why it's important, and I don't want to ever have to have that talk with a man or convince him to be a provider. Yeah, the realization I had when the last guy wouldn't come, I was like, this is not my husband, because my husband would move mountains for me. He would actually look into my life to see where he can help me, to see where he can make my life better. And I've never had that experience with the man. And that what you said, where you put out more than you get, that has been my experience over and over. And that's why I've learned, like, I can't have sex with these men anymore. I can't care more about them than they care about me, because I'm great at nurturing. I'm wonderful at making them feel good. But in the end, I'm like bitter and pissed because there's nothing in my tank.
But here's the thing, though. You mentioned that you don't want to have that talk. That's not a goddess, Milena.
I want it to be his nature. Like, I don't even have to ask him. He's like, what can I do for you?
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Mhm.
You're right. There are women where these men just know off top, right? But those men,
like her guy.
okay,
She didn't ask him. She doesn't. Stop me if I'm wrong, Hawaiian. But you didn't ask him for certain things when you started to give it to you, like getting your nails done, whatever. It was like a thing in his head. He knew she's gonna need this thing, like, let me offer it up now. That's what I'm saying.
Kalani said she needs a man upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, like my nails look, or just things that bring me nice things. But like,
you sound far away.
Yeah, what'd you do to the mic, to the earphones?
far away.
You're better now.
Yeah.
No, now you're back. Outer space.
I don't know.
Did you plug in a different? Now you muted yourself.
Well, now I took the headphones out. I know.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me just turn this down.
Whoa.
Let me see.
That's loud though. Just
clarity for him. Yeah, but those things are intermittent. Like, I feel like you hit the nail on the head when you talked about someone that just knows how can I make her life better and will come in and do it. Like Andrew, that's his name, Andrew. Oh man, is this gonna be on the internet? Probably shouldn't have said that.
No, it is, but it's a private link because
it's unlisted or private. Okay.
It's a replay. It's only people in the membership will see it.
Well, like he'll bring me over something. Yeah, sometimes he'll be like for example, I needed like pillows and a new blanket, and he'll bring that over, which is like him seeing, oh, she's gonna need that, and I'll bring it over. But like him seeing that I need to be comforted because I'm going through something, and me not having to call you to check in on me, like that's like I want that too. I'm kind of all over the place. My point is, he doesn't do everything right. Like there's lots of gaps. That's hence the need for the man upgrade. But what I noticed, and this is why, spirit leads you to, like I'm stepping stoning, whatever, to like better and better relationships and better men. And what I do like about him is the pouring into me in a lot of ways. Like if he sees that I need something, like need help, he'll show up. Like, and I love that. I was like, oh, I like that. But I don't like anyway, I think I'm all over the place. This is like bringing up a lot for me. My point is he's got a lot of gaps. Don't get it twisted. That's the real point I'm making. You, Shameless, you're on mute.
You mentioned that he's not your forever person. So kind of like I understand there's some things you're looking for, but at least you're warmed up. But what I was trying to say to Milena is that when you're going from men who not meeting your needs to a man meeting your needs, there is a transitional period where you need to lay the law. Like those men that might have, the man, Andrew, that Feline's dealing with, might have been trained by somebody else. Somebody trained.
Yeah.
So when somebody's trained, like you, anyone, if you were married before, there's certain things your future husband is not going to have to teach you because you learned that in a marriage. But if you were, if you were the first wife to him, he would have to tell you his standards. So my thing is, you could get blessed and someone who's just trained and knows better. But if you're going from a pattern of men who are kind of out like feral cats in the wild, like they're cute, but they've been out in the wild, so their training is not the best. There's gonna be a small period where you're gonna be like, listen, you gotta spell it out for these dudes. That's what a goddess does. You know, she spells it out, and then sometimes you attract people who already know how to do it with the goddess because they just switch. They just left another temple. They don't like that goddess no more, so they come to your temple. So that's what I meant. Don't feel any negative feelings towards telling men, hey, listen, this is what I'm looking for from the jump. That's what I'm saying. For me, any man that comes my way knows I'm looking for marriage, and they're not trying to get married within my time frame, i.e., 3 months, 2 months, whatever it is. They're not a good fit for me. So that's what I mean. You tell them once, you don't have to keep on telling them every time. They're really not compatible with you.
Yeah. How do you express as a goddess your expectations for provision?
How you look like. You look like you can take care of 5 families, Melina.
5 families?
Yes, you look like you're like you got some resources that you can take care of 5 families. Not only do you need to speak you for somebody to talk to you, they need to know that they need to come with some gifts. You see what I'm trying to say? You look very stable.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you're stable, what does stability attract?
I'm a hope stability, but not in my case.
You attract what confidence. Like if you're a man and you're stable, say you're a man and you're just like that, you're a man though. A woman's who's down and out or just coming into beginning, she's gonna be like, oh, somebody who has their stuff together. So you look like you have your stuff together, but now we need to add a little bit of oomph where not only you have your stuff together, you need to have your stuff together to approach me. I'm not here to be your mama.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. You look like you can take care of 5 families and you'll be fine. You look and the reason why I say that is energetic. It's not about your looks. It's energetic. Like your energy lets me know that you take care of stuff. But if you did a little bit of just not too much because you're already there, where when men come, where you bring that sex kitten out, men think about those. I don't know if you're familiar with Saweetie. Do you know who Saweetie is?
Yeah, the one with the McDonald's meal.
Yeah, she has money, right? Cardi has money, right? But Offset recently in an interview with Angela Lee said he invested $10 million over time with his wife that he's only known since 2017. They met in 2017, got married that same year, and both these women have their own money. But allegedly, Saweetie, she's with YG, a rapper, and prior to that, she was with Quavo from the Migos. They allegedly says YG gives her a credit card where she's able to spend $300,000 a month. Now you might see the artists and they're different and they cheat. Okay, that's a topic for another. But my point is, you have your own money, but men still call to provide for you. So what's the difference? These women go above with their presentation. And so I'm going to be doing this with you, so you're going to see me as well. We don't have the luxury to be looking stable. We're not, it's cool for the office place, but if you want men to treat you like a goddess, you need to look like a goddess. A goddess is, you will break your neck to look at her, right? Because so for a man to know off top where you don't have to spell it out for them that you need to be provided, you need to look expensive.
Okay.
And you need to look very bougie. Like exclusive, like you make that not everyone's going to understand to make peace that people are going to judge you for being sedity. But you need to look like, excuse me, how dare you talk to me? What do you have to offer me?
Mm-hmm.
But if you look stable, like you can help the habitat of humanity, and you
Mm. So how do I do that? What do I need to like?
well, the workbook is the latest is you're gonna get it by tonight. You might not get to it because it's you might get it late, but it's gonna be out tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing, depending on which archetype, but it sounds like you resonate with the goddess. You're gonna have to find your own style where you look like a woman that men need to kiss the ground you walk on. So you're gonna have to bring the sex appeal out,
Mm-hmm.
but look expensive at the same time. Sex appeal look expensive. So do you feel comfortable being a fashionista overnight?
I'm a little confused because I feel like I'm a fashionista right
When I
now.
like a fashionista, well, there's different fashionistas. There's the hobo where it's very earthy and stuff. But I want you to look high maintenance. Basically, that's what I meant. You are
Mm-hmm.
fashionista. I need you to look. Can you be high maintenance overnight or over the 8 weeks? Can you turn to high maintenance?
Yeah, as long as I don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm
Well,
willing to.
doesn't mean you need to, break your bank, but I want people to know that you put it, when people see you, they know you didn't just get out of bed in 5 minutes. That's basically
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying. So if you're a fashionista now and you're earthy and you're not getting men that feel called automatic to pay your
Mm-hmm.
bill, then you will find, and we can do this over time in 8 weeks, where
Mm-hmm.
you identify somebody who already embodies that. So is there a certain public figure that has your style, but then also has men like give to them and treat them well? Because Erykah Badu doesn't attract that. Erykah Badu gets dudes that love her, but they're not the ones that are like. She's usually. I remember I think recently was a few years ago. She was dating like a 20-something-year-old, and she said she didn't mind being the sugar mama. So she attracts men, but they weren't able to take care of her, right? So is
Mm-hmm.
there somebody?
Oh, what's that girl's name that everybody wants to date?
Lori Harvey.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She dresses earthy.
No, I don't. Oh, you said pick somebody who dresses
Well,
like.
because I'm saying if you don't want to change how your style, because you give me earthy vibes. Is there a public figure that's earthy vibes and gets a man that treats her well? Because Lori Harvey, she dresses and she looks high maintenance, right? Doesn't Lori Harvey look high maintenance to you?
Yeah.
Have you seen her once like just look comfortable? Like I've seen her come out of Pilates class, but even then those outfits are put together. So if you want to do the Lori Harvey thing, Lori Harvey, you can tell like she knows which outfits are in season and name brands and things like
Mhm.
that. I'm not saying you need to break your bank, but when you come out the house, people know that you put thought in your outfit.
Yeah. So maybe I need to send you pictures because I
Yes.
come off like I definitely am put together.
I'm not saying you're not put together. It's the type of put together.
Yeah, maybe I need to send you pictures so we can discuss
Yes.
like specifically what you mean to upgrade because
Right.
I already feel like I'm at a good level, but I'm open to upgrading. I just want to know specifically
I
what you
don't
mean.
upgrade. I think you need to rebrand. Upgrading
Mhm.
means like when I think of somebody who needs to upgrade, that's like they're homely. You're not homely. It's just the style you have is not the match for the type of man that you want.
Yeah, or either or. Like when you have this dress on, you know what I'm saying? You could take it in here.
Right.
That's what I mean. Like specific. Yeah.
Critiques. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, because
can I post those in the group?
of course you can.
Yeah, so we can because I'm definitely open, but I want to know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm totally because the first thing a man knows how he can treat you based on how you look. I hate to say,
Mhm.
and even
Yeah.
I'm very self-reflective. What I need to do. The next step is getting out that energy, that the same energy that's causing us not to clean our house. It's the same energy that's required for us to let me look at the comments and see. Okay, so I'm up to date on Florence comment. Okay. Um so that's the next thing. So then, okay, so then we have the thing. So you want a man that feels called to provide, right?
Yes.
So do you want to be a stay-at-home mom, or you just want to have the options to be a stay-at-home?
I want to have the option. I want to stay at home. I'm not trying to work nowhere, but I want the option at least.
You want an option, okay? So you don't want to be a homemaker per se, but you want the option to be a homemaker.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think all Black women should have the choice. The one Black, not grown girls, should have the choice to work. Some of us won't work, some of us will, but we like the option.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that said, you're open to any type of race of man, right? Long as they, okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And then, go ahead.
I want to go back, but I don't want to interrupt your stream of thought. I'll ask you when you're finished talking.
Okay, the next thing I was going to say was that you also, I'm just confirming, you also said that your goal for this program is to have like a viable candidate, like a fiance. Your goal isn't to be married. Like you don't want to put pressure in you for.
Right. So we're on our way to the altar. It doesn't necessarily have to be at the altar in 2 months.
Okay. 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 So you can go again with your question.
So you said something really profound for me. The same energy that's preventing you from cleaning your house. Can you talk about that? Because yeah, that is a huge challenge for me, like staying orderly in my mind and in my house.
Okay, yeah. So when I tell you stuff, I don't want you to think I'm like, Seamus, why aren't you doing it? So that's why I'm doing the program with you. So when I'm telling you stuff, it's because I know for myself. We are all here because we have similar energy. The only difference is like I put in all the research and I have a format. And then after we do this together, the next round, we're gonna have like proof. So that's why I appreciate you ladies as day ones. But what I mean by that, that same like stuck energy that knows in our house, but the steps in our brain to do it is like you need that person to push you off the hill. You know that car engine that's not working. You need the people to push. As soon as it gets momentum, you can jump into the car and drive down the hill. That's the difference between branding yourself, because it's not rocket science. You know, you said the men you've dated in the past, they're good here, but you need this. Someone who has multiple properties, has a career, can maintain a house, has the mental capacity to figure that out. It's an energy stuckness. It's not that you don't have the information. So the same thing that's causing us to procrastinate on our home, I mean, to clean our house, to organize it, excluding Brian, because she said she got that down pat, is it the thing that's stopping you from dressing in the way? What are you afraid of? I feel there's some fear of getting what you, if you dress like,
you said getting rich quick.
No, get the fear of getting what you want.
Oh.
So if you were to dress like, say, for Lori Harvey in your own way, and you after that man, I feel there's some fear of actually getting the goal, which is the guy. Because if you didn't have any fear, you wouldn't be in this program. You would be, you would have done what you need to do to get your guy.
Yeah. So immediately the fear is a man like that, who's on point like that, is going to expect me to be on point. And so when I'm here, my house is a mess, and a king is not going to accept that. I have to be on it all day, every day, or he's going to leave me. So it's like, oh my God, am I really ready to be that girl? Like, car clean, house clean, hair, not skimping on getting the hair done. Just like Lori Harvey looks like she steps off of a magazine in the morning. So it's the fear, and I listed this in the group, of being criticized, of being rejected for being myself. Like on a down day, if he sees this perfectly coiffed, like one thing my ex said, Mark, was like, you seem so sophisticated on the outside, but you're half a woman. He said that to me. And that stuck with me and he said that because I didn't cook right, I didn't clean right, according to him. And that stuck with me. Like, maybe you are half a woman and another man is going to find you out. He's going to be attracted to the look and think he's about to get this girl who's just on it as his wife. And he's going to discover you're half a woman. And the same painful rejection is going to happen all over again. Another thing that happened with Mark, white men don't like extra weight on us, at least the white men that I've encountered who are quote unquote high value. They don't like a whole lot of. And so when I gained 15 pounds, he was disgusted. Like, I mean, how much more weight are you going to gain? You know, like
Mark was white? Was
yeah.
white? Oh, okay, I didn't know. I thought he was the Senegalese.
No. My daughter's father. So it was a huge deal for him, my weight. He would track it, like get on a scale. So in my mind, the high value man is going to rip me to shreds. He's going to rip me to shreds. I'm going to be miserable. I might have the trappings, but they'll be temporary because the minute I fall off of his pedestal, it's a wrap. The minute I gain weight or be imperfect in any way, have a messy house, whatever other flaws, it's a wrap. He's looking for somebody else. A divorce. Yeah.
Wow, that is really deep.
That was deep. That was unexpected.
Some of those fears are real though.
Mm-hmm.
Because Pearl is a regular, well, she's like a conservative, traditional, romantic person on podcaster.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you heard of Pearl, like Andrew.
I've seen her bullshit. Mm-hmm.
Right. So Tasha K, who has a YouTube channel, Tasha K, she I guess she did a clip on Pearl, and Pearl's like, if I had said this as a white woman about her, I would be called a racist. And then a white man said, well, they cut their hair so they can wear wigs. So they cut their hair because their hair grows like in patches. They look like men, and they're the most obese out of all. So when I say that to say that some white people, I keep on saying YT because I used to be on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, they value, petiteness, right? And you're right. When you do lose a lot of weight, but there are white men who deal with plus size women too. But when you lose a lot of weight, your demographic of people that are going to be attracted to you. But I believe a real healthy man, he's not going to have to berate you, but he will be like, listen, I do have a preference. You see me, I take care of myself. They'll act, but they don't need to berate you. And I feel somebody to say that they have their own challenges to say that to somebody that you're mentally a child or whatever he said to agree that you're half a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's really harsh. So yeah. That's not a prize, to do that. So it makes sense that you're not with that person. But those fears about cleaning your house and, the procrastination, that's what I was talking about. The reason why I said earlier in this training, I think a few days ago, that I removed myself because I was not emotionally available. I had certain like financial goals that I wanted to reach before I focused on love. And so you mentioning what you just said, that's a form of emotional unavailability.
Yeah.
But the challenge is, as long as you're aware of it, it's not a problem. But when it's subconsciously you're emotionally unavailable and you're saying you are, that's where the problem. I don't think there's anything wrong being really truthful where you are.
Yeah.
So I just want you to think about that, because as long as your actions are in line with what you're saying, we're going to meet the goal. But if you feel one way, but you're saying, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. But I think, like, for me, yes, it's true. They have high standards, but I'm not a girl that is going to maintain a what's her name? Lori Harvey physique. I don't even want to. That's going to require going to the gym 2-3 times a day, which he does, I'm sure. Being very particular about what I'm eating. I mean, I've gotten very thin, but it was an obsession nearly about what I'm putting into my mouth. And I don't want a life like that. And I think that's my fear, like being the real Melina. Is that going to be enough for this man? Because to me, that's a slow death. You know, having to be on P's and Q's. For me, that feels like a slow death. Not knowing if I can be my true self. Because there are days, so I'm a writer, I'm a creative. And there are days where it's just like I want to create. Like I really struggle with being regimented, basically. There are days when I just want to create. I don't want to talk. I don't want to be bothered. I just want to let this story flow through me. And that feels good and right to me, you know? But a man is not going to have that. In my mind, a high value man, he's going to be like, where is my breakfast? Or like Mark was always harping. He would always call me lazy. Like, don't you have something better to do? You know. So that is my fear. A husband who has exacting standards, having to kill myself almost to meet his standards or face divorce. So it just feels better. That's probably why I've gone after men who are not the greatest value, because they're easy to be with. They're easy to be with. They feed me all day. They cook for me all day. They pamper me all day. The rest of the stuff they don't attend to, but they definitely have treated me like the queen that you fan with the leaf.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow, I would really have to step up. You know, and can I even do that?
Let me be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
There's an archetype for what you want, but the goddess is not that one.
Mm-hmm.
The goddess, you pay the price to be a goddess. And I told you that in the first video, training we had on the first, where I said, you know, I'll be honest with you, I think I was in my workout clothes in that video. I'm like, I'm not no goddess archetype right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have the luxury of, I just want to be comfortable. Goddess, you don't want to be comfortable. Let me read it real quick where it says, because it has a protocol for each type, and you'll see it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And things, I'm just going to list things that a goddess wouldn't be caught dead doing. Wearing sensible shoes, getting sloppy drunk, letting her roots go, beginning a sentence with "sit," I'll get that. So goddess isn't accommodating, right? Spilling her guts, telling your darkest secrets, you know, wanting to be best friends. The goddess is about mystery, right? Hanging out, off-track betting, deep discount shopping, housework. Goddesses don't do housework, right? Cracking a joke, telling unadulterated truth, refusing to stand on ceremony. So if you want to be a goddess, and this is a choice, you must make peace that you sacrifice convenience. You sacrifice being like a regular woman, because a goddess isn't regular. But there's a different one. There's the mother. There's the companion. There's the competitor, where they give you more grace, where you don't have to be on the top of your thing. But the men they attract, you know, you have to just be able to pay the piper, whichever one.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just something to think about, and you'll have the book at the end. But you're right. Think about it. If a man is giving you, as a woman, money that most women don't even make with their first job, you think that's just out of the blue? You think that's just normal? He's doing it because he wants to make, he's incentivizing you. So he's basically shutting you up. There's no reason why you can't go to the gym 3 times a day. There's no reason why you can't find some chef that makes it easy for you to stay on your calorie regimen right now. He wants to have that trophy.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to be a trophy, it is what it is. I believe in being delusional.
Mm-hmm.
You could be blessed to have one of those men where you don't have, you get goddess treatment by being a goddess in your own version, but that requires a level of confidence that no one can like dissuade you. So you can attract somebody that can grace, but you have to believe that. So you can be one of the few that gets a man giving you goddess treatment, even though you're not going to think, but you have to be the, you're like shameless, whatever you're talking about is blah, 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 blah. And that's when you're going to get that man. So I do believe you can get that man, but you have to be unwaveringly confident that he's out there. Because you kept on saying, I'm afraid that we'll get divorced if I do that. You can't have any thoughts.
Yeah, I don't have that belief right now. That's something I would want to cultivate. But can a companion, can she attract a provider? I'd be happy with the provider.
A companion can attract a provider, but the whole point of a companion, she's the one that makes a man feel like he's the biggest thing in the world. Mm-hmm. Where the goddess, she gets that treatment. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So the goddess attracts a companion man, and the companion women attracts a goddess guy. Mm-hmm. So are you willing to make your man your world? No. Are you willing to purposely lose games so he can feel like the big hero? Are you willing to just make him feel like he's that guy? Like the cheerleader, cheerleader quarterback dynamic,
I think I would want a happy medium, whatever in the middle. So if we're going off just straight up, basically it sounds like a Kevin Samuels talking point, then that would mean a goddess is only beloved for her perfection, which already I have tons of flaws. Like my age is a flaw according to that argument. My body is a flaw according to that. So, and no amount of, even genetically, I'm not going to get down to a size 6.
Okay, so here's the list. I'm not saying you have to be a size 6 or size 0, but for you to be a goddess, you must have something about you that makes people go, that's all. Mm-hmm. So you be a Lizzo. Lizzo has that goddess energy where, but do you see how she dresses, on the thing? It's like they have this celebrity energy. So if you can have that without being perfect, that's fine. But the challenge is a lot of Black women, they feel they need to look a certain way for them to feel. If you can feel that way without the external things, great. But most women lose weight. You think women lose weight not for their health? No. You can be a 10 or an 8 and still be healthy, but when they go to the 4s and the 0s, they do because what? Society validates them. And by getting the validation, they feel great. So if you can feel great how you are, then you'll have the confidence of a goddess where a man will kiss the ground that you walk on. So whatever you need to do to get that confidence to be the only standard you have is man kiss the ground, then so be it. But most women, they need to do the glow up and lose weight and get the hair. They got to do all these things. But women can look how they are now and be like, I'm good enough.
Yeah, I think physically I have it. From the responses that I get, I have it. I think energetically, that's what I'm missing. And belief wise, that's what I'm missing. Like I'm going to upload my pictures so I can get some guidance from you on where I can upgrade more. But as far as like my wardrobe, that's something I invest heavily in. My clothes are not cheap. My clothes are, I think it's my own style. So there's no celebrity I can point to that's like, oh, I dress like her. I'm not a trendy woman, but I feel like I dress myself well. You know what I mean? Like, but I'll show you because you don't know me. You don't know what I look like when I go out. So I'll upload some pictures so I can be clear.
Awesome. So it sounds like it's your behavior then.
Yeah, behavior and definitely belief.
Well, your
It's
behavior
about the
is
energy.
your beliefs.
So like I said, accommodating mediocre behavior. So for instance, with the last guy, he would do this thing where he wouldn't call me for hours,
Mm.
or he would wait until the evening to call me and make up all kinds of excuses as to why. My tire went flat, and when I
Mm.
called him for help, okay, I'm in a meeting. So my behavior was to keep talking to his ass. That should have been done, but I kept entertaining him because I wanted to hear an excuse so I didn't have to leave. So when he gave me one and we went to counseling, I accepted that, and instead of seeing what the truth was, I kept like, okay, let me give him this chance to show me something different. And my behavior was putting up with garbage. That was the behavior. And so I'm sure he saw that, like, she's not going anywhere. I can just keep stringing her along, telling her we'll go to counseling. This will be different. That'll be different. Or I can make her a meal and make love to her, and it'll be all good. And it was. That's the behavior, rather than you don't act right. Oh, you don't want to call me? You're cut off.
Right.
Next.
Do you know what Cavalieri is?
What's that word? I don't know, like whatever.
Do you no Kristen Cavalieri, not Cavalier, but Kristen
Cavalieri,
reality TV star from
no.
Okay, so she's that like that no nonsense girl in high school that was the hot girl. Mm-hmm. If you on Instagram or TikTok, Christine Cavalieri, but anyways, I'm trying to think of Tony Childs from Girlfriends.
Yeah.
So basically, attitude.
Yeah. And there was an energy of desperation with all three of them. Like, my self-esteem was so low with Adara's dad. It was just, I'm sure he could see all of my insecurities. Being a dark-skinned woman and putting him on a pedestal because, like, it was this thing now. Like, and he was very good looking. So he became the prize. And I'm sure he sensed that. And then with the others, like, I met the first boyfriend with a string of 3 when I was 39 on the cusp of 40. And my belief was, oh my God, you're not married by 40. Like, you're a leftover woman. I just got to grab this guy and I'm going to stick with him no matter what bullshit he gives me because I have to be married. And that energy, I'm sure he sensed that. I'm sure they all smelled it because it was 39 and then it was 41 and then 43 and then the guy from May, he was younger. He's 10 years younger than me. So it was like, I'm sure he smelled the desperation, all of them, because of the belief that I don't have all these options, and that whole Kevin Samuels bullshit swirling in. Like, you're older now, nobody's checking for you because you're not young anymore. Men like that want light-skinned women who are thin, just all kinds of crazy.
But Kevin Samuel ended up with a 30-plus-year-old plus-size woman.
Yeah, I do.
And one of her name is King Ashley. She's on TikTok and Instagram.
Oh my God, I follow her. She's been popping up on my Instagram all day.
Say that again?
She's been popping up on my Instagram all day.
Okay, awesome. Because she was.
I did not know that's who was in his bed.
Oh no, that wasn't him. That wasn't her.
Oh, okay.
Married to somebody else. No, the reason I'm bringing her up was she's in a live stream. I think 2 days ago, she shared that she met Kevin Samuels in person and said that he was really, and that he has a different persona on. And that he complimented her and said that she's really beautiful, that he adopted that persona for the views because he was on a different time. So the point I was trying to make is even though those were talking points, he did that to be posted because he didn't believe that in actuality.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And Fly, do you have anything to add? Or because I just want to make sure that I know that, that I see you. If not, you can
Yes.
type what you need to write.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, lots of things to say. I have notes. Okay. Let me go through my notes. So about background. What I want is to be a stay-at-home wife. I thought I'd put that out there because y'all were talking about that. I want to be a stay-at-home wife with the option to work. Okay, so you guys talked about presentation and expectations and all this stuff. And so like where my mindset is, it's like I feel like okay, the next 3 months are really dedicated. Like this came up and I'm very happy to be a part of it. But also before this came up, I told myself I was going to dedicate the last 3 months of the year to building my business and getting in shape. So that you're on mute.
There's a rain drop sound. Like, do you hear that?
Yeah.
What is
Is it
that
my
sound?
thing again? I'll try to be mindful of that, guys. It's better?
Yes.
So I dedicated the last 3 months of the year to building my business and losing weight. And so I'll say that about like I was thinking about what you were talking about with emotional unavailability. So I realized that's something that I need to be aware of and also make you aware of. Yeah, I want to hit income goals and I want to really kind of just upgrade the foundation of my life. So there's that. Then about like what I believe in expectations for men and my presentation. What I feel like I need most help with is presentation because I have a habit of like, wearing whatever and looking bummy and looking like I just rolled out of bed or whatever. Like now I have on just some shirt and like some like loungewear, but I like tend to wear what's comfortable. And like my vision of myself, like I told you, like the next 3 months, I'm like really dedicating this 3 months to like getting in shape. And I see myself with some just my style, like some like I don't leave the house in sensible shoes. Like I'm like nice pair of boots, nice pair of jeans, and a nice sweater showing a little cleavage. Like that's my style. Like that feels like good to me. And my beliefs are that like I have no problem attracting a man of any race like that. Like I guess that's how I think. I feel like because my personality is so awesome and like whatever, that I feel like any man that I attract is one, if I like I'm not gonna gain all the weight that I've gained like now, but I feel like he's not gonna care. I feel like he's just gonna be like, whatever, I just like you here. You're so squishy and cuddly. Like I just was going through my beliefs. I think I'm enough. I think I'm enough. And yeah, what else did I have on my notes? Yeah, I need a lot of help with my presentation and upgrading my look. That's like really that's yeah. I feel like anyway, I'll just leave it at that. That's some basic thoughts. I'll just leave it at that. I'll think about it more. Maybe I'll post a message, but I think that's the basic things that I want to share based off of what Melina had shared, just things that came to mind.
I appreciate that. So the reason why I bring that up is like you're right. You are good enough as you are. You are good enough as you are. You do not have to change anything. But if you feel like you want to change something, do that for yourself. However, I don't want any of you to believe that you need to look a certain way to attract your man because that's external. That means you're not good enough and you have to always do something to gain something. I believe once you you feel that way in your heart now, you're going to attract a man. Because there's men who are really good looking providers with plus size ladies. Now, are they in abundance? No. No. Just like there's not a lot of plus size with abundance who think they're good as is. But if you want to change yourself for other goals that's not that's aside from marriage, the better. But I will say this: being plus size is a sign that there's some emotional needs that have not been met. So it makes sense when you try to get fit, you're simultaneously, addressing multiple issues, which is why a lot of men predominantly, they don't say this in the most, I would say, diplomatic way, but plus size women, for the most part, their red flag is saying there's some mental health challenges. We are not out the womb unless your mother gave birth to you almost at 40 weeks. You don't weigh a certain amount. We start getting overweight as, I don't know, after 10, I don't know. But we're not born over. So we are overweight over a certain time. That's something, our food choices. So most men don't like plus size women because, biologically you want to have a woman with the best genes, right? But we're not going to go into deep depth about why, because Black women go through certain things that other race of women don't go through. I do believe you can attract love. As plus size, you don't need to change who you are, but you have to have an unwavering belief of the type of man that you want, to the point that you can go on any social media platform and they say the opposite and you don't feel like, curling up in bed and crying.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to certain places or watch certain videos on YouTube and they say the otherwise, and then you start doubting yourself, then that means you're not rooted in your truth. So that's why some women choose to lose weight, because they have less ammo for people to critique, right? That's what we call for perfection. The more perfect you look, the less likely a person is going to mess with you. But if you do have imperfection, you can still come out on the good side, but you need to have a lot of confidence, because there's a lot of plus size people that people don't make fun of them. They know that plus size person has a mouth on them. They'll cut them to shreds. But if you come across a plus size person who's soft spoken and is not the most confrontational, that bully is going to go for that person's plus size. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I don't want to go too much into that. So the reason why I was just bringing this up is when it comes to branding, it's not about saying you're not good as you are. It's just basically being very removing yourself out of it and being logical. See yourself like a client. If you were matchmaking for yourself, Melena, you had just like you, doppelganger, but they're not you, but they look just like you. What would you give her advice on how to meet her person? When you remove yourself and you just get very practical, it's a different thing. So if you want this type of guy, and these type of guys like these type of women, it's not rocket science to know that you need to do certain things. You're not gonna take it personal and say I'm not.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And that's why I'm totally open to critique. I just posted my pictures on there. Because I want to know what my blind spots might be. What I would tell her would be it's all about her mental. It's all about her energy and the beliefs within, and also handle your clutteredness, because that's one of the insecurities that I have. But I would tell her, work on your mental, work on your mindset. Yes, not necessarily you do need to lose weight, but more than that, you need to figure out why you are emotionally eating, because that's what's underneath it. You're muted.
You're invited to be on a news channel?
Yeah, I was on the news.
Oh wow. Yeah, you look like a mayor's wife. Wow, these are cute pictures.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are really nice pictures. So I'm thinking, so you are put together. You're really put together. So it must be just a behavior thing. It must be a behavior because you're really put together. You look like you put like you look expensive in these photos. So
yeah, I come looking expensive. I think it's like I said, it's the mindset, the beliefs. It's almost like an ugly duckling.
mm-hmm.
So I feel like I have the mental blocks of who I used to be. Like I don't know, there's an aspect of me maybe from childhood who felt rejected. Like I told my sister, I feel like an orphan. I'm not close to my mother or my father. So that lack of foundational security, I think, has really done a number on my worthiness. Like I have a huge worthiness wound. So seeking out men who are just like, they're easy. It's easy to impress, for lack of a better word, a pauper, but it's very different queen to king, because he's going to have standards.
No, you didn't say poppers.
I did.
You are funny. You just be saying all of these things.
That's the only way I could do it. It's straight. Like, because he's just happy to be there. He's just like, okay.
Surprise! Yeah.
But a king is like, I can get another one of you by tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna need you to be your best self with me. And that's like.
So it sounds like you need help with behavior things, how you treat yourself. So
yeah.
So basically you need to start now, meaning like you need to have this as like your universal baseline.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Feline, are you adding yourself twice? Feline? I think she has two. Let me add it. Okay. So basically it sounds like you just need to start acting in that way now.
Yeah.
So meaning like you don't just do this for men, you do this for everybody. So this is like standard operandi for you. Are you able to do that? Are you able to have this no nonsense mentality for all aspects of your life, maybe exclusion to your child, but have this kind of like, if you do that once, because I feel like it won't be an issue for men if this is how you are with everybody.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So yeah, whatever the work is, I'm willing to do it. And I have noticed, like, doing it with friends as well, like women who, some of them that lack reciprocity, but I'm gonna work with you anyway. Like, I'll initiate our lunch dates. Like, hell no, like, bye, okay, because with both men and women, it's a lack mentality.
Yes.
There won't be enough of you. I need to hold on to what I have.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to obliterate that.
You're making a lot of breakthroughs within 3 days. This is crazy. No, seriously, you're making a lot of breakthroughs in 3 days.
Yeah, this has been awesome.
No, seriously, you have had all this awareness in like 3 days. Most people like go through their life and they'll be in these live streams and not know why they keep on getting, you literally know. That's awesome. That's really awesome. So what would you like to be milestone wise this time next week, a week from now?
I want to. So the matches I'm getting on dating apps right now look like Pookie and Ray Ray had a party. I want to change that. I'm only attracting professional men to me in the real world. Professional, married-minded men who step to me like a king within the next week. So no, I'm married, but let me see what I can get from you. Or
feel comfortable sharing how you're portraying yourself on these apps for you to be attracting Pookies and Ray Rays?
I'll show you my Hinge, because I didn't really put a whole bunch of effort into that, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I think what I could do is like the photos, they don't look, they look like some of those photos I shared with you. I put those up, but I think it's going to take Melina in real life. These are her standards, like taking pictures at posh places in the role. Like, if you want to talk to me, this is what it looks like. And I'm also too jokey. Like, one of my things on Hinge was like, it asked what your greatest fear is. I said that mine is the Kool-Aid man busting inside my house.
Right. Remember, I told you the goddess, she doesn't tell jokes.
Yeah. So I need to stop that, because to me, that's been my way of being relatable.
Right. Right.
Let me be funny. Let me be understanding. Let me listen to his trauma dump. Yeah, I need to stop all of that. I want to keep my warmth, and I want to keep my sweetness, but not at these discount prices. Like, you get that when you enter my temple or whatever. Yeah. Because the guy I told you who was married, he started like telling me about his mama and his mama issues and this and that. In the 1 hour that we spent together, he was already on my couch laying out all his stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know you, sir. But people feel like they can do that. Like, you just look, you're such a healer. You just look like a good listener. Okay, there are people you can hire for that. And I don't want to be in relationship with a man that should be a client. And I've attracted those. Like the May guy, he said, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I'm this. What I should have been like, you know what? This is not healthy for me. I don't want to be joined with somebody with all these mental issues. Instead, I come closer to show him that I can be the one to help him through it and just pull through. Like, no, okay, you need to go deal with that.
So what I hear you say, because the photos you did send me, what I did notice, I don't know, even though they're beautiful photos, they look like great photos, like for like Bumble, if you're trying to meet like a girlfriend, like besties.
Okay.
It could be like professional, but I didn't get sex appeal. I didn't see you, even though I'm not into women, I didn't get that vibe as a man, like, oh, I know it doesn't sound politically correct, but you do feel some lust in you. So what I got from you is like a woman who has it put together. Even though you're beautiful, but the energy of your photos was like, it was kind of like your sensuality was detached.
Okay.
So what I was thinking is in the future, since you already have the looks, it's just like an energetic to bring that. Because if you have some woman that is the apple of your eye, aren't you going to try to do everything you can impress her?
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. But you have a woman that looks stable and she can hold down the fort. Are you going to feel comfortable telling them your dark secret? You don't want, the guy you had the biggest crush on, you don't want him to know all your, you want him to see you in the best light and impress you.
Right.
So
that's such a good point. Yeah.
So I feel like that's the difference, because I see if you saw those photos will look great on LinkedIn, to be honest with you. They'll look great on LinkedIn. Yeah. I think the difference between like someone think, you can be attractive, but it's energy. And you look like you traveled, you have a good head on your shoulders. You look like you have good credit in these photos.
Good. Yeah.
That's a good thing though. But so the good thing with you, let me see, there's did I miss something? Private chat. Closed it by accident. Okay. So Feline, do you have something to add that you want to do? Because I think for the next 15 minutes, I'm just gonna say the last piece, because we went a little bit longer because the other live I am live, so it didn't record.
Yeah.
But Feline, did you have anything that you wanted to add? If not, I'll just say my piece, and then I'll leave for questions, and then we'll resume tomorrow. Let me see. You have a comment? I think I will do some soul searching and maybe have more to awesome. And mind you, you'll have the guide the workbook by then, and I'll be adding to it. So at best, you'll probably have the first 2 weeks assignment, and then every week I'll add, so I don't get overwhelmed. I need to stop looking dumpy and bummy. End of story. So here's the thing, Feline, there's men who like women looking dumpy, to be honest with you. And no, I'm not saying you don't, well, I don't want those to know. There's men who have a good head on their shoulders that like women looking, they'd be like, oh, finally, but the thing about is energy, right? It's common for us to feel better when we look our best. It's very few people can be like, look at me. It's usually the billionaires that are dressing like that, right? Because they don't need the validation no more. But some of us, we got to play the game to do it. But I just want you to start framing yourself using romantic words describing you. So instead of saying I look dumpy, you say, I'm very comfortable. Because that's that shade they would tell me at work when I would come to work. Look, wearing some sneakers, they're like, don't you look comfortable? That's called for you're not dressing professional. But when you're a goddess, it's really important. Your language is very flowery about it. So you saying you look dumpy, it's not serving you. You'll be probably like, I'm working on rebranding, going from being comfortable to being more, I don't know, polished. And I say that to say because what you realize that the real thing that you learn from this program is mostly energetics, words. So with that said though, about and I'll be working too because I have my nursing scrubs. This is a little bit of improvement from my workout clothes. but even myself out, I have some goals. I'm gonna change my hairstyle. That's gonna be more reflective. But it is an effort. I'm not averse to knowing that it does take work to do what you need to do to glow up, to clean your house. It takes effort, which is why you ladies will be married or have strong candidates compared to other, because they're going after the wrong things.
Yeah.
Women are not focusing on what happened with their parents and discerning the patterns their parents had, and then what you've done and spreading the gaps. Most women aren't going to do that because it's not fun. I'm sure going through those emotions probably didn't feel great, right? Reminiscing of the past, but that's important because you don't want a man to know what you're performing in and use that against you.
Right. And I want to say I've been doing this work since 2007. So with nothing, it's not new. Like I'm actually a spiritual life coach myself. What I want is to move the knowledge from here, the awareness, into practical action. This is how the behavior that you're talking about. This is how I show myself and these men my worth. These are the things I no longer do. So it really wasn't that hard to bring up because I brought it up a million times before. Like I've made the connection for years and years and years. But for me, the confusion has been, how do you translate that into a different way of being and create a new reality?
But keep in mind, though, you say that you've done this for years and years, but there's people who haven't made that connection. And when a man is aware of it subconsciously or consciously, but at least you're aware of it. So you're like a step ahead from people. But when you can't change your actions if you're not aware. So you're aware. And now you're at the place to do your action. But what I'm saying is that there's women who are doing the glow up, losing the weight, but they're still, they haven't made that connection with what their parents did. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so when it comes to the action steps, the guy that you get by late this evening, you're on Eastern time, so it'll be a little bit later, but nevertheless, you will automatically have it by tomorrow because I'm doing it this evening. Then we can go through it, and then you can see like which archetype are like. Again, you can customize it. There's no rule. There's no science to this. This woman, this book, So I don't want you to feel, oh, I don't fit everything in the goddess. It's up to you to. My goal with this program is you don't need to go by the rules, but you must go by your own rules.
Yeah.
You must go by. So it's interesting because both you ladies want to have a strong candidate, and I guess I'm the only one who's kind of down to be married by the end of this year. So it'll be interesting. But you said you want your action steps to align with the connection you made multiple years ago. So
with the transformation, I want to be a transformed woman rather
okay.
than having the knowledge of the
So
transformation, if that makes sense.
you?
What
does that look like for you?
That's what I want to know from you, Shameless.
No, because here's the thing. I can tell you stuff, but then, like I said, I believe you ladies can get married by the end of this year, but you don't want that, so I can tell you.
Listen, I'm open to that. I'm not saying I don't want it.
Mhm.
I'm saying this or better. It's kind of a this or better
Okay.
for me. If it is December 23rd, so be it. Let's get there. If it is a little longer than that, I'm also okay with that. So this or better.
I feel like I say the same thing, this or better. So what I see for you this time next week is I would like for you to have men, like at least one man, just give you a compliment. You might have that. Give you a compliment, but mention something that's in the vicinity of a goddess. Like you look regal. You call goddess, hey goddess, or something where royal. And if you order something and if in the past you let it go because it wasn't right, you tell them, and you don't have to be belligerent about it, but start. I'm not sure if you do this or not, so that's why I was asking how did that look for you, because you might be doing this already. But I would like for you to start stepping into that person that has a no nonsense aura about her.
Okay.
And Feline, the same with you. Since you mentioned you want to be more polished and regal with your outfits, how does that look like for you? Do you have the time this week to start getting outfits that matches the type of style that you like? Mostly because I have to focus on building my business. I will start looking and putting up printers to get awesome. Okay. Because you'll be shocked. So we're not halfway through, but yeah, actually we are halfway through the first week because we started on Sunday. So again, I think what I'll do with the workbook is to have a thing where you can disclose like what goals, because I want you to literally see the progress you're making. So that's why I'm asking for those things, because I want you to chronologically see physically you were here and now you're here. And then you also have a questionnaire pre and post the live streams. And I know I might be doing it every day, but they're just to, make sure that I'm delivering what you need. And I'll make sure the questions are not like too much since you're doing it on a daily basis. It might just be one. But the goal of it is certain things that maybe in live time you weren't able to think about and you want me to change certain things. But what I would like for both of you ladies, this time next week, you must have your archetype that you're going to choose or the combination, and with it to the end of the program before you say it's not working. So you'll have from tomorrow until that same day. So I guess next Wednesday, where you will pick your archetype, because then we have the remaining 7 weeks to. Well, technically, the remaining 5 weeks, the last 2 weeks, you got a guy.
Yeah.
Now, can you believe and start having another like a man's energy in your? I know for like you have somebody already, but can you believe having somebody in your life? Like you go single, you've been single since May, and now you have somebody that you're interacting. Do you spend time envisioning somebody in your life?
No, you offered that yesterday. I didn't. I will be doing that though. Also, I had a dream, and this grandmother like lady told me, your beloved is just gonna pop into your life like that. And I do believe that.
Said that because I have a dream interpretation book. So you can, if you care to, you can write as much as you can in the group. Either by tomorrow or next Thursday, I can have the interpretation.
Okay, I'll write what I can remember.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much the gist. She was like a psychic, like a oracle type grandma.
Okay. I believe dreams. Like they've come to permission. I really had a dream about something and they said it will happen in 2 to 3 days. That's what the dream dictionary said, and it happened.
Oh,
And
wow.
your dreams, I don't know if you know this because you mentioned that you're a life coach as well, but
Mhm.
your dreams are basically how would I say this? Like, for example, if you have a dream of somebody that you've had this conflict with, if
Mhm.
they in your dream, they're trying to test the waters first. And so if you're receptive in your dream, then in reality, they're going to reach out to you. So when you're
Mhm.
on a psychic plane, that's, so I used to be really good at, drawing it down right after I woke up. But if you're someone who can really have very lucid dreams,
Mhm.
that might be a gift you might be able to
Hmm.
develop if you can get into practice.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. But
That'd be
Philomena,
awesome.
okay. Do you have anything to say? Because I'm going to say my final moments and then we'll resume tomorrow. Okay. So what I want to also mention is this. You ladies didn't mention this, but I'm a very strong advocate on being a girlfriend as a scam. Okay. I believe you either be abstinent, you be a woman who's like a sugar baby, or a woman who's a professional, where you have an arrangement with the man and he gives you money in transaction of your physical body or your time. Because there's some women who are sugar babies and they just provide companionship, right? Or you're married. And I say this because my goal for women is I want you to leave all interactions with men with more than what you went into. Women are meant to be poured into. And so you didn't disclose that. So it doesn't seem like you have this issue. And it's really important I say this because that's the way you can maneuver these streets without getting heartbroken. If you don't want to have negative complexes against men, you must find a way where your investment in them prior to the highest level of exclusivity, which is marriage, you must find a way to not invest in them until they invest in you. And it's not easy because we live in a society that says you're being foolish, no man's gonna marry you unless he tries, and all this nonsense. But I literally researched it. Tamar Braskin, her boyfriend, which was a lawyer, just broke up with her on social media. And she invested a year, I'm assuming, with that person. I think they were engaged actually. And I'm not saying she's, I don't know if she's be heartbroken. I don't know, maybe it was amicable, but that was not the best use of time. I believed if she had a 90-day deadline, because she's been married prior. So I believe women after a certain age, like they don't need that much time to figure it out. But if she had gave that man 3 to 6 months, she could have had two relationships within a year. So that's just something I want you to keep in mind. If you're going to do with a man and he's not your husband, make sure he pays your bills. Because then when it ends, you're not bitter. You can literally be like, well, Anthony gave me $1,000 in February, $3,000 in March. I got $10,000 more out of that relationship than when I entered it. Then you're going to be like, Anthony, we weren't compatible. He was a good guy. I don't know too many women who talk poorly about their dudes, like Country Wayne. He has multiple children from different women. None of his children's mothers talk poorly about him. He's a social media comedian. He does skits. What's another one? Nick Cannon. You don't really hear his ladies talk. You hear his women, beg to be back with him, but you don't really hear his women speak poorly about him. For instance, I'm down for that, but I need help making him pay my bills. I need to know how and what to do. So, see, Phil, I've been asking you several times questions, and you're like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." I was asking you, like, "You have?" He's like, "No, I'm good." For you to ask a man to pay your bills, you need to tell him. That's that goddess energy. What is in the Greek mythology? What do they tell the citizens or whatever, the village people? If you want me to give you good harvest, I need you to give me the first 5 goats of the season. Give me your firstborn virgins. They literally tell people. So you need to tell your person. I forgot his name, but your person. You need help. And if he's not going to give it to you, he's going to skedaddle. You need to be okay with men disappointing you. Eventually, you didn't have to we just say you want to be with me, you got to pay my bills. No, you don't say it like that. You gotta have some. I know you're a woman, you're not a man, but put yourself in a woman's place. If you have a daughter, if your daughter says, "Mom, you need to give me money for my cheerleading costume," or I'm not visiting you when you get older, you're gonna be like, "Oh, dang, that's kind of harsh." But be like, "Mom, I need money. Can you help me? It's like $500 or $250. I don't know how much cheerleading or whatever this children's activities are." If your daughter says, "Mom, I need money," your daughter doesn't know. You don't know what your daughter needs unless she tells you. So how would you want your daughter to approach you for you to give her money? You will first want her to feel grateful and not entitled, even though technically you are entitled, but you want her to feel, can we continue to work on these? Yes, we can. We can. But how would you want your daughter to ask you for money, or your child? I don't know if you have a daughter. Yeah, we can role play. Yeah, how would you want your daughter to ask you for money? How would you want a family member to ask you for money if you weren't going to give it? And that's how you would ask them. You would go about, you would use your empathy. This is my major issue. See, you ladies, I'm assuming you identify being an empath. One of the powers of being an empath, you know how people feel. So let's use that. Let's use that for our game with these men. Use that empathy skill, and instead of being a people pleaser, use that people pleaser skill. You've been allowing people use your people skills against you. You know what these men feel. So put yourself in their shoes. If you were a man, or if you were that guy that's in your life, how would they need to feel for them to give you what you want? That's what manipulation is all about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what seduction is all about. What do you need for these men to feel good giving you money? And when you come to that solution, there it is. It is, it is what it is. I can be honest. There are times where I didn't want to play that game. I didn't get the result because I didn't want to pay it. But if we live in a world where I was at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles several years ago, and this lady says, "Can I have $1?" And I gave her $1. Guess what she did? Because she was about to pay. The area to pay for Roscoe's, you can order out, and the people who are in the restaurant eating are paying at the same place. So I give her $1. This woman, literally, black lady, literally snaps the dollar out of my hand and paid. Never said thank you. Right? So as a man, if I give a woman $250 and I cash out her $250, if I'm a guy, and she just goes about her day and she doesn't acknowledge, she doesn't say thank you, how am I going to feel like? Right? So the thing about it, even though it's a dollar you didn't have and you didn't have to work for it.
Mm-hmm.
So just think about that. But the point about it is, you deserve a man to pay your bills if he's laying you on your back. You deserve a man paying your bills if he's in your face for more than 5 minutes. If a man just wants to talk and monopolize your time, you need money. If he's not your husband, you don't owe him anything. Just like he doesn't owe you anything. At least that's what these men say. Some of these men. I need a lot of work here. And that's what the program's for. So I guess with the workbook and with the questionnaire that I'm going to send out, it'll give me, more feedback on how to make these Q&A hours more productive. It's your blind spot. I think it's not your fault. It's a lot of Black women's blind spot. We're not taught to receive. We're not. And to be honest with you, as a Black woman, allowing a man bed you, and you might have your needs met, allegedly, but you're still losing. You're still losing because men don't get shamed having partners, right? And if a man can lay you down in your house and you can't pay for him, he can't pay for the environment that he's laying you down.
Yeah.
Like, that don't make no
It's
sense.
a loss. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's like somebody wanting to eat the cookies, but then when you tell them, well, we need some flour to make these cookies, then you're like, what? You expect me to pay for flour? I'm like, but you're the one who wants me to make you chocolate chip cookies.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like when men don't want to pay your bills, but they want to lay you down in your own house. It's, So you deserve a man to pay your bills if you're going to be intimate with me. I'm abstinent, but how I do my life, it's just like, if I was a fashion stylist, I'm not going to expect all my clients to have the same style as me, right? So my standards is because of my personality type and how sensitive I am. I don't like, I feel jilted any other way. So I decide my standards based on that. So you don't have to be absent into marriage, but if you're not going to be absent, make sure it makes sense. Because when he does, because by the odds, it's a numbers game. Not every fella that you deal with is going to enter the altar. So you want
Mhm.
to leave that situation, you want to know that you gain more than what you lost. And also, it's harder for a man to disrespect you. Not to say this is something you got to worry about, but it's also a way to prevent men from disrespecting you or spreading rumors about you when they invested thousands of dollars. When they say that's why your cootie cat stink and that's why you're a whore. Like, that's not what you said when you paid for these tires to get fixed. That's not what you said to get me a new front door for my house. He looks foolish. So it's
Mhm.
insurance for men to respect you when you require them to finance certain things. And then also, it's a filtering process. If you really, if you want to know where you stand with the man, if he can't exchange any type of money for you, he's gonna bounce. So you have to be careful and be ready for that, because you might be dealing with a man that you say is really there for you. He just doesn't have money to do things for you. But when you create that as your basic standard, you're gonna be humbled and realize a lot of men that you've been entertaining were not up to snuff all along. Pull out your face is you're like, what your face? You're like, what?
I just got off work. I can talk.
Oh, okay, awesome. Awesome. You're muted.
There we go. That's very realistic slap in the face. First,
Yeah.
two that I needed. Thank you. Clap, clap. Second. So yeah, it's like whoa, 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 whoa. This is like now that I can talk. I work till 3:30. Just so you know,
Awesome.
Shane. So, and I probably don't need to be all extra. I work for I'm a technical writer. I work in I keep on listening to my conversation, so that's why I'm all funny with the computer. Anyway, what you're saying, Melina, you probably agree. Like this is what I needed. Like this is what I needed. This here. I mean, I need all the other things we're talking about too, but like this, like how to ask them, like this is major for me. It's like stuff I like have no clue of doing, so I just do it badly or just accept less. And anyway, I'm just really grateful. I'm really excited because
Oh,
I'm like, oh my god, it's like this really moves the needle for me.
that's awesome. And what about you, Malay? Do you need men to help with men giving you money?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it, but this is my major
Oh, I
issue.
didn't see that comment with Feline. I thought that was you. No, you're
No,
right.
I think
You
it's
didn't write
both of
that.
us.
You're right.
Yeah. So as I was sharing about my past boyfriends, like I've never had the experience of provision like that. Um,
Did your
and I've
father
always
vision when you're growing up?
my mom
Your father.
never,
No.
no. And he was very nasty about it. Like, if you want this dime, you're gonna work for this dime. Yeah, my dad messed us up in many in many ways. Um, so yeah, this is my absolute blind spot. What I was gonna type is also the people pleasing. So my energy has been, am I good enough for you? How can I prove I'm good enough for you? Not, are you good enough for me?
Mm.
Giving away sex early. Like I would get in the bed after 2 weeks. Oh, you love me? Okay, let's do this. Oh, you want me to be your girlfriend? Okay, and it's 2 weeks.
That's fine.
Men will,
Girlfriend, at least even though I don't believe in girlfriend, but that's better than nothing.
yeah, but it's always set me up.
Right, I see what you're
So
saying.
they get what they want.
Right.
And now I'm trying to get my stuff on the back end. And it never has worked out like that, you know. So I put in here, I'm officially abstinent. So I think that was a huge part of it. Like just the sexual energy. When men get sex and they get it early, there is something that shifts. I have felt it each and every time something shifts within them. They put me in a category that I can feel that they put me in the category. They know I'm going to be working to get out of that box. And so they have all the power. I will be abstinent. And without the people pleasing. Like, one thing I must get from this program is the knowing in my energy that I am the prize. As cliche as that sounds, but
that's not cliche.
I did a video yesterday about that with the Lori Harvey saying, remember, you are. That's so interesting you said that.
Yeah, like feeling like a prize, no matter what the man looks like, no matter if he's fine. Okay, I'm gonna get off, but I'm gonna get back on my phone. I have to pick my daughter up.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see you guys in a few.
Awesome. Yes. Because I'm gonna end it very soon, 10 minutes anyways. Because this will be like an hour since we meet daily, but because the live yesterday I forgot to click record, I wanted to make up for last session. So we have 20 more minutes left, and unless you don't have any questions, then we can. Unless Melina steps back in. If not, we'll always have tomorrow. So the thing about it is, when it comes to role playing, we can focus on that tomorrow, as well as the questionnaire that I'll send you, and you can tell me ahead like what you need. Because part of you ladies being the first to join, you literally can have this like custom made for you. And then when the more people come, it's like too bad for them, not for them. But as more people come, then
I love it.
One-on-one attention you will get. So that's great that you're taking advantage of it. But I'll have some other services for you in the event that happens, where it's just I can't address everybody. But what I will say is this: when it comes to asking a man for money, you must first feel unapologetic for asking for it.
Wow. Okay.
Because you only ask for things when you feel you deserve, right?
Yeah. And I feel like what I needed is to know that it's normal, to know that it's accepted, it's expected, and it's natural, I guess. Yeah, it's not my normal feeling.
Your sister shared that you weren't taught this by your father. So women who have it easy asking men for money is because they have no resistance. Their dad or their mom gave them money. I was just thinking about this when I was growing up. I really worked hard to get like my first job when I was 15. And I thought about it. I could have added what the minimum wage was back then, which was like $5.85. And times that by 8 hours, and just that would be $40. I could ask my dad for $40, but I didn't think that was a possibility because I didn't have anyone to tell me, because I don't know why I was socialized. We are socialized as young people, as Black women, that we have to work hard and prove ourselves. But I bring that up to say that if you have issues asking for people for money, it's because you weren't role modeled that you deserve just to get money because. And the women get it, they don't need it. Like Paris Hilton, Cardi B, Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey has men bragging about how they've given her all these gifts because she doesn't need it. Her parents doted on her when she was a young person, so she has no resistance asking for things. And people can't make fun of you for asking for money or demanding gifts when they know you come from a place where that's the norm. They usually do that for people who are coming into wealth, right? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
No one makes fun of Blue Ivy being on, the Beyonce's tour or getting all these things because that's the norm. Her parents do it for her. So I feel like once you, like you said, make it normal in your brain, you do the inner work required to not feel. But the question now is, are you prepared for the negative side of potential that gentleman that you're dealing with saying no? Are dealing with that?
Okay, that gentleman. It's bringing up a lot of things because he the whole time we've been together, which has been 5.5 months or whatever, he like works a lot of he's worked a lot of overtime, so he's always had, you know, like extra money. So whatever. Now they cut all his overtime and he just works like a standard 40 hours, which is just like not enough to live on or anything. And so not only do I have that the regular, you know, anxiety about asking a gentleman, but I'm looking at him like, oh, he's never going to, because he can't even, he's going to be worried about like how can he contribute to his 401k anymore, or like how he's going to pay health insurance. So there's that added benefit, that added piece to it. But Shameless, I want to know, like, we can talk about this. We don't have to talk about it today, but like, I'm thinking about, I just want to make him my friend because he, I feel a little ethically about continuing this thing. Like, it's useful because I get to practice my skills with him, but I just feel kind of ethically like, is this right? And then I also feel like I don't want to become so emotionally tied to him that it's hard to break away. And I also feel like we're greatest friends. Like like so many reasons, like we're greatest friends. So we can talk about that another time, but I
Well,
don't know
yeah,
what to do about that.
you can, if you, again, I don't do, I'm a black and white person. So if I feel a person's not like my person, I'm not going to just deal with them and get what I can. Cause even though men do this all the time, men put women on placeholder status all the time. But if you feel like it's ethical development, it doesn't matter what I think. But if you're asking me like on assistance to do this, I would encourage you to start, slowly teetering off and transitioning to platonic friendships if you don't feel good about it. Because at the end, spiritually, men aren't dumb either. A man's going to respect you too when you don't take advantage. Because again, you want to be that woman that also is spreading positive mindset on love. You don't want him to
Yeah.
be a red pillar. So you can disclose like, I'm so grateful and acknowledge all the things that he did for you and stuff. But I'm at this point when I'm ready to settle down and I'm looking for a man to do these things. And if you're very objective, he can't get mad at you being honest. So you can do whatever you need to do to slowly teeter off so you can keep him, consider like your emotions that you've kind of bonded with him. You can do that. If you don't feel right, continue with something because he's not the one, then that's a sign for you to start changing that dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's how I feel. I feel like especially because like I've maintained that I just want to be friends, but then he'll come back to something romantic, and I'm just like,
Also, you told him that you want to be friends?
yeah. I told him several times I just want to be friends, and then we like have this romance, and in his head, like we have romance and we're changing, but in my head, I'm like, no, I'm still here, like I'm just enjoying the ride, you know. So it's kind of, I don't want it to get all
So it
messy.
sounds like he's not able to maturely put you in that friends with benefits category. So you're able to see as friends with benefits, but he's not. So you might be like, I think we're on a different page because you said on several occasions that lets me to believe that we're not on the same page. And I see you,
Mm,
I respect you as my friend, and I want to, I want us to, continue our friendship. I don't want you to get hurt, and I feel like our expectations are different. And if he doesn't get that, you might have to purposely, tell him that I think we need to take a break so we can give you space to transition our friendship to strictly platonic. Because maybe that's the challenge of him seeing you for what it is because you haven't had that break for him to transition. Especially if you're still intimate, I can see why he may
yeah.
feel confused.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah,
Unless
that's
you
good.
unless you want to be the bad guy and make him do all the work by saying, we can still do this, but I need X amount of dollars, and then it's not on you. Like that's another way. If you don't want to feel guilty, you can be like, I need this amount of money. Whoever I'm considering being intimate with, I need that's just my basic requirement is X amount of dollars. And he says, well, I can't do that because of this and that. You're like, you're right, and it's so unfortunate. He's a really great guy. You can do that, or you can do the first option where you're like, I think we just need to take a break because I don't want to hurt you, and I want to salvage our friendship. I want to keep it, and I feel like the best is to have like some time apart, so because I
Yeah.
see my friend, and I feel like you see us going this way, and I'm not there.
Yeah. I'll think about it. There's benefits of both because I really want to like learn how to ask. And maybe it will be good practice. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that's something you have to keep in mind. If you want to be straight friends, you know, and you know he's the type of guy who wants a little, you know, a little bit of extra attention for his coins. You can't be going back and forth and say, you know, I want to be friends, but at the same time, I want some cash for this. So, you know, if you want him to play, you know,
Yeah.
maybe put out a friends. That's up to you, or maybe through doing the work, you know, through the process of elimination, you have a man who like takes so much of your energy that naturally slowly deprioritize your current guy, you know,
Ooh,
because
I
you
like that too. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to.
no,
Okay.
you don't have the third option. Third option is just going to happen. You know, if you have a plate that used to be filled half with pasta and then you switch it to half with salad, you're gonna have less, you know, less room for the pasta. So when you get a guy that actually meets your standards, you're gonna give him more attention to incentivize him, right? So you'll be like, yeah, it's nothing personal, but you know, I'm ready to settle down, and this guy, you know, da da da. You have less time for him, unless you have some faith that this current guy can be your main guy if you switch. But it sounds like certain traits
No,
and he doesn't have it.
no, it's like a lot. It's like a lot of things that I think they're not even like changeable. Like, no, we could go into that, but we don't need to time wise.
Right, right. Okay. Well, I think we'll be done for right now. Remember, tomorrow someone is in here. Oh, Melena's here, so we'll add her to the stage.
Oh, she's just joining again.
It's me.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
joining.
yeah.
Where'd you go?
I left my
Okay.
laptop going.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I removed the other Milena that was just to help with the audio. So we were just talking about Feline's situation, about how to deal with her guy. And I said one of the options were to be honest and take a break so he gives her current person time to really process that they're no longer friends with benefits. Then I said, or you can tell him, hey, if you want to continue, pay this fee because this is what I'm looking for the guy I end up with. Or the new man that's going to come into her life by doing the work in this program, by process of elimination, she's going to have less time to spend with her current guy. But she was saying that she likes she likes the benefits of having him because she wants to practice asking him for money. So I was just saying you need to, you know, you got to be clear of what you want, because if you want a man to pay you money for things, you can't just be going back and forth and saying, you know, I want to be platonic friends, and then, you know, Tuesday you're like, I need $200 for this water bill. You know, you just got to be honest. You got to be honest with yourself, you know. But it's all your choice. Melena, I know you're driving, so I was just gonna like tie things up because we remember we have tomorrow to do this and I know this like for this program because my goal with this program is like a boot camp type of challenge. With challenges, it's every day to like do something that's kind of ambitious. It's not impossible to do what we want to do, but it does require a little bit of energy. But after this program, my other programs, I won't be here every day. But to manifest the type of love that can transition to a marriage that's successful for years to come, I'm willing to do that sacrifice to show up every day. I mean, every day until December 23rd. Because I believe, like you ladies, you just invested 2 hours today. Yesterday, you invested an hour, and the day prior to that, you did an hour. These are all hours that I'm not sure, but prior to this, you probably weren't. So if you're doing something for 60 days that you weren't doing 60 days ago, by physics, the results are going to be different. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
So don't underestimate just coming to these calls and talking about certain things that you might think is not relevant to attracting love. It's you're telling the universe that you're ready for a man. most people are not spending time on what they want. They're focusing on what they don't want. Most of the time with this live stream, you ladies asking about how can I get this goal that I want? Like that's really deep. Like the universe and God or whatever your faith believes, they're listening to you and you're getting certainty. Like I wouldn't be shocked within 2 weeks. Like the energy is going to be a little bit like different. Not that the energy is bad now, but it's going to be more certain.
Agreed.
Emily, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, no, I'm just again so grateful for this space. It's like definitely a prayer answered. I'm going to take my dating app down while we do this work because I want to reemerge my new self.
I'm glad you said
I'm
I didn't want you to have a dating app, but again, this is a free will situation. You know what's best for you, but I believe you can meet your person without a dating app.
I do too. Thank you. So I'm taking it down tonight. It's the end of an era. It's an end of a desperation era because that really was the only reason I was on it. Like the belief that that's the only way I can meet a man and I have to be on it even though I hate doing this. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to clean my house this week or
Yes, we
within these next 2 weeks.
with the workbook I sent, and then I'll show you too in the group week. I'll have part of the workbook where you have like what's the word, milestones or goals for with deadlines, and by this time next week, all of us should have had time to clean our house and share like what things have manifested from our little things. You'll be shocked, little things that come. Do you ladies practice a gratitude journal?
I practice
Not
gratitude every
consistently,
day
but I
as a
definitely can.
routine.
Yeah, routine. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'll have that as part of the workbook, because and it will be a little bit. We can talk about that tomorrow, but with the gratitude journals, is being grateful for what you have, and there's also being grateful for things you don't have yet, and that's how you manifest things. It's the same feeling you are grateful for your car, your health, being grateful for your husband.
Yes.
So feel like he's here, even though he's not here in the 3D. He will become in the 3D.
Yeah.
That's something I'm gonna really work on. I think that's so important, especially because I've had someone in my space that like doesn't meet all my standards. So I really need to switch to the feeling of having someone around that they're what I asked for. Thank you, God. I just love this man. Oh, he does this and that. Yeah, that's gonna be big for me.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
Another
Maria.
thing that I've been doing is writing a letter to my husband.
So you're scripting. That's
every
awesome.
night. Yeah. So I'd like to know how to do, how to optimize it. Because right now I just say whatever's on my mind. Like the other night I was like, where the hell are you? How much longer are you going to take? And that's probably not how I want to go about that. But yeah, making him real.
At least that's something where you're doing this 60 days ago, writing to him saying, where the heck you at? How doing this?
Right.
How long you doing? That's better than nothing. You know what they say, when you hit rock bottom, you only go up. So
right.
that's a beautiful thing. You might think that's funny now, but if you were doing this earlier,
Yeah. Right.
That's a good thing. And so yeah, I'm excited I'm excited for tomorrow. So just I'm gonna probably pull an all-nighter to get like the workbook, and I'm gonna be reshifting certain things on my website. So by Wednesday, by our call, you will have the workbook and I'll be editing and adding stuff to it too. So nothing's like the final side. So I'm excited because I feel like what you're realizing is that it's not the men that are the issue. Yeah. It's your beliefs. And once you change your action, now here's the thing though, when it comes to changing your actions, you're going to feel really awkward in the beginning. And I feel like that's why cleaning the house is important. Getting used to the comfortable feeling.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, William.
What was I gonna just say to you? Oh, I was gonna say, please don't pull an all-nighter on our account unless that's something your personal goal. I can definitely wait for the workbook.
Me
I don't
too.
want you up all night trying to do it. Like,
No, it is. I appreciate that. That shows how compassionate you are, and you're gonna find you're attracting great male traits. But it's part of the energetic, right?
okay,
But I have like it's other stuff too. But I appreciate you saying that.
sure.
But yeah. So we're coming to our time. Like I said yesterday, I will make up for not recording it. So once the thing on YouTube again, this is a unlisted link, so only people in the membership will have access to this link. You'll have that by tomorrow. Sometimes YouTube takes a long time to upload. Any final thoughts before we head out? Because I'm gonna get on TikTok for like 10 minutes and I'm gonna get
No, this was great. I've
Yeah.
got a lot of hidden issues revealed, so I'm excited to work on them, or well, work them out of my life and have a completely new experience. So yeah, onward and upward.
awesome. Line, what about you?
This has been great. I'm really stuck on this big shift of money being a requirement and being normal and being natural. So that's like really kind of like I gotta sit with that for a while. That's huge for me.
Oh, the baby's in the car. How cute.
Hey Adara.
Oh, cute. But anyways, but yes, ladies, it was nice speaking with you. And
Thank you so much, Shameless.
yeah, also put
Say hi.
hi. Hi. Put any question you have in the group in the the Mighty Networks thing, and I'll get back to them at least by tomorrow, probably quicker. But I appreciate y'all. See y'all tomorrow if you're available.
All right.
Okay,
See
you
you.
too.
We will
Bye,
be there.
Shameless.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.